So today we are talking about a few different topics. First of all, I want to talk about how Mendel, Kalmenson, and Zalman Abraham on Chabad.org. So they together wrote an article, and it's on Shabbos. So first I want to say that this video is going to be the last video of the week, because after today, tomorrow's a fast day. The next day is Purim, the holiday of Purim, and then the following day is the Sabbath, Shabbos. So for the next 3 days I won't be doing any videos. This will be our last video before that. So let's talk about, they say that Shabbat reminds us not only that we have what we have is enough, but that we are enough. Joyous living comes not from having the things we want, but wanting the things that we actually have, stopping the search for more. And that's kind of the theme today, stopping the search for more. So Avraham J Heschel in the Sabbath says there's a realm of time where the goal is not to have but to be, not to own but to give, not to control but to share, not to subdue but to be in accord. I love that word, in accord. And I want to pause for a second and say that we'll continue his quote, but Mendel, Kalmenson, Zalman, Abraham, they say it's all about being versus becoming. So anyway, continuing Avraham J Heschel, it says, life goes wrong when the control of space, the acquisition of things, of space, becomes our sole concern. The prohibition, okay, that's the end of the quote, except he says 6 days a week, with the world, 6 days a week we work, we wrestle with the world, bringing profit from the earth. On the Shabbos, we especially care for the seed of eternity planted in the soul. The world has our hands, but our soul belongs to something else, something beyond. So they say that the prohibitions of Shabbos are not the normal energy-consuming work, like carrying, a table, or, hanging upside down by your ankles on a bar. It's actually productive, creative, or transformative, constructive kind of in nature, like doing things that are transformative, constructive, productive, creative. So it's like a rest where everything we did was elevated. Does God really need to sleep or rest? No, it's more like this idea that it was elevated. So, it's not in the Shabbos spirit to hang by your ankles or to carry a table either. I wanted to share, the philosopher Seneca says, it's not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor. So, and then Vonnegut once met Joseph Heller at a party. And it was hosted by a wealthy hedge fund manager. Vonnegut pointed out their wealthy host made more money in one day than Heller would ever make from his best-selling novel, Catch-22. I don't know. They're both authors. Heller replied, yes, but I have something he'll never have. Enough. Getting off the manic treadmill of addiction to progress and perfectionism. And, sometimes we're like trying to get that reward. So in Shaar Habitachon, which is the gate of trust, it's from the book Duties of the Heart by Rabbeinu ibn bacheya, ibn pekuda. And in chapter 4, it says, reward and punishment in the world to come. So in piece number 3, it says, external physical wants are simply mirrors of the inner desire of the godly soul to serve God and reveal his glory in and through everything. So this moreness is the search for God. It's something more. It's because God is more than anything. Number 2, God conducts himself with the Jewish people as a father who has compassion for his young child. When he wants to discipline him, he does so gently and slowly. So it's like this idea that we don't need to worry about being perfect and getting more, because we're not going to be considered failures to our God, to our Father, if we don't acquire more or whatever. I want to also share about being an actress, which is also an idea of perfectionism, being like this version of ourselves, almost that we could sell, like a salesperson of ourselves. So playing the known roles and the unknown roles. So I could show up as whatever character feels right, different hats, faces, traits. I can be a child, a rebel, a student, a teacher, an earner, a giver, a confident persona, sometimes and sometimes insecure, a problem solver, an artist, a writer, a health guru, a scientist, a broken addict, a desperate fatso, a masculine aggressor, a harsh and tough, a very sexual, sensual beauty, singer and dancer, comedian, friend to everyone, dirty and stinky, pure and holy, mystical, natural, spiritual, deep thinker, poet, imaginative creature, resourceful, playful, laughing, animal lover, generous Torah scholar, divine worshiper, humble, and I want to add a romantic, an idealist, and even a beggar. And becoming all of these. So let's continue. In Sanhedrin 17:8 it says, they don't appoint to the Sanhedrin except men of stature, of wisdom, of appearance, of age, of sorcery, and who know 70 languages, so that the Sanhedrin doesn't hear through an interpreter. So basically, not one of those things says, the Sanhedrin was the high court. There was also a lower Sanhedrin, a higher Sanhedrin, and I think why this is interesting is because wisdom is here, stature, age. It's not like they're saying you have to be young forever. You have to know what sorcery is. You can't be like this sheltered person who never got exposed to the world. You have to be able to speak so many languages, to hear from everyone, to understand. That takes a really open-minded heart, tolerance and patience, you know? And then in Yevamos 65b, it says in the Mishnah number 3, a man is commanded to be fruitful and multiply, but not a woman. Rabbi Yochanan ben Baraka says a woman is also commanded, as the verse states with regard to both of them, and God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply. That's from bereishis, Genesis 1:28. Then the Gemara this is number 3, 4, 3 to 5. So 4, it says in the Gemara, from where are these matters derived that woman is not obligated in the mitzvah to be fruitful and multiply? Rabbi Elias says, in the name of Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon, be fruitful and multiply and fill the land and conquer. Genesis 1:28. It's the manner of a man to conquer. It's not the manner of a woman to conquer. Consequently, it's evident that the entire command, including the mitzvah to be fruitful and multiply, was only given to man and not to woman. And number 5, the Gemara raises a difficulty. On the contrary, the plural term uvishvu, uchevishu, I think I'm saying it right, and conquer it indicates that the two of them are included. It's written that way. Rabbi Nachman bar Yitzchak said, it's written in the Torah without the letter Vav, so it can be read uchevsha, and conquer in the singular. Rabbi Yosef said that the proof is from Genesis 35:11, bereishis, I'm God Almighty, El Shaddai, be fruitful and multiply. Said in the singular, not the plural. I want to go now to from Rav Yitzchak Ginsburgh. A great Kabbalist and numerologist. I just feel that there's one more item on the menu that I want to share. And so it's about kabel, which means to receive. I'm sorry, Kabbalah. Okay, it's about Kabbalah. Kabbalah is the mystical wisdom. He's a Kabbalist. He says, what is kabel? Kabel. So people usually want to define it as receiving, like the mystical channeling. And He says, well, let's really look at the word. The word kabal means parallel or create a correspondence in Exodus, Shemos 26:35 and 36:12, and it means to receive or to channel in Proverbs 11:20 and Esther 9:27. So here we see it means parallel and create a correspondence, and it also means receive and channel. So you see, science and Kabbalah, he says, try to outline the fundamental patterns at the basis of creation, but from different directions. Science through observation, hypothesis, and experimentation regarding nature, and Kabbalah through deep study of the Torah. Science seeks to find a middle ground between empirical phenomena and their hidden sources. And their hidden source, the laws of nature formulated by empirical science, are an attempt to reconstruct the basic structural patterns by which nature is organized. The same objective that Kabbalah has. The 10 Sfirot, the 10 channels of divine emanation from crown to kingdom, a structure embedded in all reality and serving as a kind of inner map of the world, and 22 letters, 22 channels of the Hebrew alphabet together are referred to as the 32 paths of wisdom, and 32 is Lamed Beis in Hebrew, because each letter is a number, and 32 is Lev, which is the heart. In Hebrew written numbers, suggesting the 32 pathways of wisdom match the heart, serving, so to speak, as the heart of creation, and in it, and the heart is really the thing that pumps the blood and oxygenates and circulates, right? And in as much as or like the center, in as much as these pathways are many, 32 relates them to creation, whose core attribute is multiplicity, but in as much as they are abstract, generally applicable, and relatively few in number, relates them with their creator, who is characterized by unity, the hidden common root from which the various phenomena stem. So in Kabbalah we have this map, and it is sort of like a channel system, and it means parallels, correspondence, co-respond, and receive. So we'll stop here. I want to wish everybody a happy Purim, an easy fast if you're fasting tomorrow, to really connect each one individually with our royalty, with miracles. And then there's some mitzvahs we do on Purim. On Thursday night we hear the Megillah of Esther. Friday we also hear it. This year this is when Purim is. Friday we give, we break our fast after the Megillah. Thursday night. Friday we give, and also on Thursday we give the half shekel. It's a certain value. It's from the original shekel, not like the shekels now, the common shekel now. The shekel from the time of the Torah. And then on Friday we give poor people money. We give food to our friends with 2 blessings on. Foods have blessings, so we give 2 foods, and we also hear the Megillah, and we make a feast. And then shortly after that is the Sabbath. So I want to wish all of us an easy fast, an amazing Purim with all doubts removed, from the tree of life, not the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and relief from anything that is stuck in good or bad, so that we're no longer worried on the inside or the outside of good or bad, in the sense of the original source of physicality and of spirituality was one source, and that we're very comfortable in time, in accordance, and we stop the search for more. We become present and see how rich and full and meaningful, not just full, but like how relevant and revelatory every moment really is, and to trust more, to trust God's going to save the day in whatever way we have to enjoy the movie, to not get too attached with adhesions, and to trust the godliness in others, to heal authority issues and cultivate respect, and to use our free choice that we have currently for the highest elevations, and to realize what a gift Shabbos is for the Jewish people, and of course to enjoy this Shabbos, this special Shabbos that we go straight from, the fasting, releasing our attachments and anything that brings in doubt, straight into Purim, which is beyond all doubts, beyond all knowledge of good and evil, like a new program and a very high level, and then straight into Shabbos, like, the day where everything gets elevated. So I wish everybody a smooth journey through all of that, with good fellow travelers, and in holiness, in love, and peace, and joy. Amen. Ken Yehi Ritzon. Bye-bye for now.